Good evening, everybody. Let's bring that down there so you can see it properly. Lovely to see you all here. Thank you very much for joining me, everyone. Not particularly wonderful weather here today, sort of on and off, but I think we're on the edge of storm something or hurricane something, so I'm glad we're on the edge rather than in the middle of it. First of all, let me say very good evening to our birthday girl today, our lovely June's birthday today. And I'm sorry I haven't messaged you before now, June. Oh my goodness. It doesn't stop here, I tell you. It doesn't stop. So very happy birthday to June. We couldn't be without her. And I just thank you for all that you do. So I think we might let her off if she doesn't do the instructions within the usual 2 hours. Then that'll be okay, I reckon, don't you? So no, lovely to see you. So I am going to be using the double loop square easy frame, which we launched on Sunday, with something that we've already got, which is the Moonlit Winter, or you may not already have it, but you could have it if it is. And also I'm going to use one of 2 new stamps from the Love of Stamps, which is called Christmas Night. Okay. But before I go on, I have to say, because I can see already I have got some of my lovely friends from over the pond, as they say, well, not quite the pond, joining us. And that is to say that at the moment, orders to America are temporarily, and I'm going to keep going with that, temporarily paused. Unfortunately, as I'm sure many of you are aware, there are changing by the minute, it seems to me, rules and regulations with regarding to sending things to the States. And unfortunately, although try as I might, I have tried to do such a thing still. It seems just at the moment that all the courier and people that take anything from the UK, so Royal Mail and the main couriers, are not accepting any post to go over. Now, I'm hoping that that will sort itself out. Royal Mail tell us that it will be sorted out by tomorrow. So hopefully that will be. But with all this tariffs and nobody seems to be sure who's paying it, when it should be paid or anything, I really don't know. So I do apologise for my friends over in America. As I said, it is only temporarily. And if you wanted anything in particular saved, do just send me a message and I'll put it to one side so that when all this rubbish gets sorted out, we can sort it out. My heart bleeds for the people that are US organised, based, I should say, because I've seen a couple of very distressing YouTube videos of companies that are worrying about going out of business with all this. So, as I say, bear with us, because we will get it to you, but not right away. And I didn't want anyone to think that that is what could happen. So, but let's go on to a nice thing. So, as I said, we had our gorgeous double looped square easy frame at the weekend, and today I'm going to bring in this new For the Love of Stamps, which is called A Christmas Night. Now there is another one on the website at the same time. There's the snow globe, which is lovely as well, but I'm going to use this one because I think it must have been made. It's been made to go in the middle of the card. And if you recall, I did say that it was meant, the whole easy frames was meant to be for a 6x6. And I made a 7x7 card at the weekend. And I thought, do you know what? I'm going to make an 8x8 with it as well. I will show you a slightly different version as a 6x6, but let's go big, eh? Let's go big. So this particular stamp set includes the main stamp plus Festive Wishes to You and Yours, Merry and Bright, and a little circle, Have a Magical Christmas. So I will be using that. I will also be using, as I said, the Moonlit Winter, which is this set. So many of you have got this beautiful designer card series. And so I'm going to go and use a piece of that as well. And whilst I say about it, next YouTube, this Sunday, 31st of August. Do you realise in just 4 weeks' time, Christmas will be all over? Can you believe it? So let's make a start, shall we? Let's think of nice things. So let's show you some cutting first, I think. Okay, so I am going to take my, let's get this without it all falling on the floor. I've got my 8x8 card blank. I very rarely make 8x8 cards now. Used to make them all the time. Now I very rarely do. An 8x8 is 20 centimetres as well. So I am going to cut this piece of card at 19 centimetres. This is a black piece of ordinary card. And as I said, I'm going to cut that at 19 centimetres by 19 centimetres. Okay. So that just fits in nicely. Like that. Then I'm going to take my Moonlit Winter. I just picked this one up at random. I reckon that all of these pages work with this, but this is just the one that I've picked up at random. And I'm going to go for more the top of this because obviously it's too big. I need to cut it down to 18.5 centimetres by 18.5 centimetres. So I'm just going to trim that down there to 18.5, and I'm going to turn that round and go to 18.5 that way as well. So it still leaves me with a nice little card, 5x7, easily making that into two pieces. So yeah, I think it sort of works well with this. So I'm going to then put that piece, that's my first layer, which is the black, and then I'm going to be putting my Moonlit Winter on the front. I can see a question from Sue. Where do I get my card and envelope stock from? It varies, Sue. I do always try and make sure that I've got a good quality one in stock for all of my card kits and bits and pieces. And I do have some for sale as well. So I think they're in the miscellaneous section. But to be honest, I must restock those as well. Just time goes away, doesn't it? So I'm going to stick this. I've got a side fold to it. And I'm just going to pop some glue onto the back of there. And then just put that straight down. Again, as always, leaving that little white border all the way around. And then I'm going to pop this piece onto here. Oh, that reminds me, I have still left some of the sale stock as well. Thank you for all of those that purchased from the sale. They are virtually always all on their way now, I think. Just a couple more left to go. But I have left them, and they are in the YouTube section. So if there are any bits and pieces that you want to look at for the last, they literally are down now to single figures, anything that's in there, but just to point out that they are still there if you wish. So that's my first part. So I'm going to pop that to one side. And then I'm going to bring in my die set. So this is the double looped square easy frames. Oh, with a bit of sellotape as well. Oh, might help if I got it all off. So just to remind you, as in all the easy frames, the most difficult part that we might have is deciding which colour. This is the background. So this is in my case, the darker colour that I'm going to use. And then this one is the more detailed with all of that double looped detail plus a little stitch detail as well. So it's a really pretty frame. I used it for an ordinary card, shall we say, at the weekend, but this clearly is going to be for a Christmas card, or even you could say a winter card, really. So I'm going to have already cut out 2 pieces in black. So I've got the 2 back pieces, both cut out in black. Okay, so that's that. Then I've taken my white piece and I've cut out one of those in white. And I've also cut out an ordinary, well, ordinary, it's not, it's hammered white piece of card, which is 11.5 centimetres by 11.5 centimetres, because I want to do something slightly different. Okay. Sue's just saying that she's struggling to find anything. Do you know, it is getting a bit like that, isn't it? The card, that's why I'm very fussy. I used to get my card from a really good place in the Cotswolds. And unfortunately, they stopped selling it because it was too expensive for them. And so ever since, I've sort of been, you know, not quite sure what I get. So I do struggle, but I do try and make sure that it's always good quality stuff. So I'm just going to now stick my white double looped section onto the black, onto one of them, I should have said. I'm going to grab that, turn that over. Got my old piece of warped cutting plate on here, so just wanting to not get glue everywhere really. So just pop that all onto here, just making sure then that that's all covered with my little trusty old meat baster. There we are. So that's got all the little sections. Take that onto one of my bigger frames, the outer frame. So, and then just pop that down onto there. Okay. So that's that piece there. Then I'm going to take my other frame that I've done, and I'm going to stick the card over it. I'm going to stick that piece directly over it. Okay, so I'm going to obviously put the glue just inside here because there's nothing in the middle, and I just want to give it a slightly different look, just to show that you can use these frames together or on their own to give sometimes a completely different look. Okay, so that was 11.5. Oh, better just check that, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. Yeah, 11.5 by 11.5 for that. And as I said, that piece is a hammered white piece of card. Okay, now let me now cut a piece of ordinary white card, what I'd call a smooth piece of ordinary white card, and I'm going to cut that to 11 centimetres by 11 centimetres. And I'm going to stamp my image onto this. So I've already popped that onto there, but I must just take that off actually. So I'm going to put my card into that top corner or wherever. I'm using a stamping platform. I always find that that is so much better. Just take that off. Pop a little piece of, put one of my plastic bags over it. I don't want to have, I should have cleaned it, but I didn't. And then I'm going to hover that over so that when I stamp it, it's going to be in the middle. And then pick that up, and all of that excess ink that was on there still, which I should have cleaned off and didn't, is still on there, but I haven't put, by putting that down, I've protected that. Now, when you're doing an image like this, which, as I said, if you look at the packaging, which I've now put down and can't see, here it is, you can see that there's a lot of solid colour. And I've used silhouette stamps before. That's what this one type of silhouette stamps is called. And it really is crucial to get a good image by using the correct ink. I have found that by using dye-based ink, such as distress inks and that type of thing, VersaFine, ordinary VersaFine and that sort of thing, even if the ink is juicy, it doesn't always come out very well. If you have a stamping platform, you can keep going over it, so you can have then build up your solid colour. But I have found for me that the best ink to use if I'm wanting to do this type of stamp, so where you've got a lot of solid black, is by using VersaFine Clair, which is actually a pigment ink as opposed to a dye-based ink. Now today I'm going to use it in the colour Twilight, so that's a very dark sort of midnight blue, very dark blue, but equally this would look good in your ordinary black. But I do find that this is a very sticky glue and I feel that it works so much better. Okay, so I'm going to just ink my stamp up, and I may have to do it twice, but hopefully not. But if I have, I've got the thing there. I just find that this gives a better look. So just notice your message, Donna. Yeah, absolutely, no problem at all. As I said, I'm happy to save anything for my USA customers, but bear in mind that it might not come out to you for hopefully just a matter of days, but who knows, who knows. I think that looks pretty good, don't you? Pretty good already. I'm tempted to not bother about doing a second. I don't know that I need to. Let me just press it down. That's the only place. I'm not going to use any more on there. I think that is gorgeous. I just love that type of, for me, I love that type of base. I love the fact that we've got the trees and the little house, even a little rabbit down there. Father Christmas in his sleigh, but also that nice midnight blue background. You could, of course, do midnight blue background there and then make this black. So that might look a bit different. So all sorts of different things. Let's just put my piece of paper in there to protect the backing of that. And I will clean it off. So before I assemble the card, I want to add a little bit of glitter to this. So I'm going to grab my piece of paper, which is the background of my notice board, and I'm going to get a little bit of glue and then my little pot, which still contains some of the white sort of diamond sparkle type of thing, glitter, because I'd like to put a little bit of glitter on there. So I'm going to add little bits of glue to some of the stars that are on the background here. And to be honest, if I miss it and go on to something that isn't a star, it doesn't really matter. It just gives it a little bit of something else. So that's, whoops, there. Now, I haven't wiped it so that if I get it in the wrong place, it doesn't really matter. The ink is probably still quite wet as well, so it may take up more. But I'm quite happy with that. That gives a lovely little shimmer. And then when that dries off properly, that you've got the extra, where I've put the glue, you've got a little bit of dementia. Dementia? No, you haven't got dementia. Dimension. Okay, so that's a really pretty way of doing it. And we could put a little bit on the trees. Hold on, let me scoop that bit back. So I'm just going to just where there's supposedly but little bits of snow on those trees, I'm just going to put a tiny little layer of, I should have used my glue pen, shouldn't I? Anyway, whatever. And then just add to that as well. So the glue itself will dry clear, but it will give that then, hopefully you can see it a little bit, that little bit of a sparkle. Okay. Now, I'm going to scoot that back in here. And then I'm going to show you something that I haven't got in at the moment, but I am going to be getting in. And that is, let's have a look at this one. So this is the 6x6 version. As I said, it's on a 6x6 card, but can you see I've got the fluffy, puffy snow on there? I have used fluffy, puffy, I don't even know what it's called. What's it called? Puffy paint. I have used that sort of thing before, but when I have had it from other companies, I've been very disappointed because it's come out yellow, and snow isn't yellow. Well, most snow isn't yellow anyway. And if it is, it's a bit of time to worry about it, isn't it? But however, I just wanted to have a go at that. And I just thought it was quite good. You simply put some of this on. So literally you put that on, maybe can't really put it on anywhere there now, but you sort of run it on there like that. Maybe that's a bit of snow there. And then you take your heat gun. I'm going to turn it on and heat it up in the background, so hopefully you can still hear me. I think one of the secrets is to put it on not too thickly, but you get your heat gun, you heat it up, and then you apply heat directly to this fluffy stuff. Not fluffy stuff, puffy paint. I would suggest that you don't use it too close because you could burn the paper, but it does seem to work quite well. So I'm just heating that up a second. And I'm just going to apply the heat. Can you see that? A little bit like expanding foam, really, isn't it? But it just gives that extra little bit along there of a bit of snow, which I think is really quite nice. Quite like that. I'm not going to use it for this, but I just wanted to show you that's what this sort of thing, which I will be getting some in, but not just at the minute. So let's put our card together. So I'm going to put some tape onto the back of this one. So this is the one where I've got the actual frame on. So I want to put a little bit of tape onto that. So let's come here. I've also got the foam tape back in stock as well, whilst I think about it. So this foam tape on a roll, I have got some of that back in stock. I'm just putting that on. And there. So I'm just putting that on quite close because first of all, I want to stick my stamped image onto this. So remove the backing. And then there's no right or wrong, I suppose. But I just want to make sure. So you can see it was meant to be, wasn't it? Absolutely perfect fit. Which goes on there like that. So we've got that beautifully framed. That one with glitter, the other one with the puffy paint, whichever you fancy having a go. So bringing in my card, I'm now going to, first of all, place this one at an angle. So that's going to go straight down onto my card front at that sort of an angle. I'm not going to put any foam or anything on the back of that one, just straight down. And as I said, that's just purely the larger die of the set without anything else, just a piece of card on it. So it looks as if I've even got just a scallop square. The fluffy paint is coming our way. It will probably be here on Sunday, in time for Sunday. The tape is in miscellaneous as well, Anita, so you could pop there. Okay, so then this little beauty is going to go on the top there. I have already put foam on, so I don't need to put any more on. I don't want it to be so huge. And I'm just going to simply put some glue onto the back of this and then put that over the top. I'm just going to try and make sure that it's as even as I can. Press down there as well, because that all needs to stay stuck, but it's not completely dry, so I don't want to do that too much. I'm thinking as well, but I haven't done it, that I would like to put my snowflake corners in the corner there. I think that that would probably finish it off. Let's just see if I can grab them. Hold on a minute. Let's have a look. But I think it gives a really nice sort of different way of looking at it, really. You know, you can have these frames and it just makes all life a little bit different, and that's what we like, isn't it? Something a little different. Oh, just for the sake of it, I haven't got them to hand, I don't think. No. Okay, we won't put stars on there. But you could. I'll hunt them out in a second and find them for you. So there is our beautiful double looped square easy frame made into now an 8x8. So we've already had the 7x7, but we've now gone a bit mad and we've gone into a 6x6 and then zoomed it up so that it is an 8x8. So it covers everything for everybody. If it's not in the miscellaneous, Anita, I will double check it for you. Let me just do that now, because it should be there. It should be there. Let's have a look, unless someone's hidden it again. Hold on, let me just check for you. Excuse my arm if that's coming into the... see where it says it is hiding. It says it's in miscellaneous. So I'm not quite sure. I would just sort of renew it, because that's where it says it is, my love. So hopefully it is. But there you go. Hello, Marion. Nice to see you here. Di, this type of stamp would be perfect for you with just your one hand. Yeah, because poor old Di. But it really would be a perfect thing, because you literally could do it with all one hand, which is really nice. Yeah, so there you go. This die set is literally down to single figures, and as it's it will be a while before that one comes in, so if you do want it, just go and grab that one now. And also I will be sending a message out to a few of the people that missed out on the next workshop. Many of you won't even know what I'm talking about, but the workshop that I've got on the 13th of September sold out in about 9 minutes flat. I have managed to get literally a handful of more dies. So the people that asked me first, I'm going to message you and I'm going to just check what if you still would like a set, and then I'll be putting the rest on to the website. Gillian says, what colours the Versafine Claire, please? Twilight, this one is called. So this was the blue, and as I said, I felt that the blue kind of went in with that background there rather than it all be black, because the picture wasn't. So that's why I went in for that. So that one's called Twilight, Versafine Claire Twilight. But the Nocturne, which is the black one, that works well as well. Well, any of them do really. Even if you did them all in green or all in red, they still look lovely. But I do recommend a pigment ink like this if you want to do this type of silhouette stamping. Okay. So everyone, thank you so much for joining me. If you have liked it, thumbs up. If you would like to share it with anyone, that's great as well. Keep me going because I love doing what I do, and I'm really, really pleased to be able to bring you some good value items, which I think that you will all love. So pop over to the website if there's anything you like. And as I say, look out for the sale bargains. There are just a handful left, but if you fancy having a try at a bit of a bargain, many of them half price, and some of them even more than half price, or less than half price, or whatever you'd say. Okay, I'll go and sit down in a darkened corner. Thank you very much for joining me. Have a rest of a lovely evening for your birthday, June, and I look forward to seeing you all on Sunday if you can. And if not, it'll be on video forever. All right, thank you very much. Take care. Bye.